We have entered the golden age of streaming. Every church or organization wants to be able to do it. I would even say needs to be able to do it. The problem is, with everyone doing it, the expectations for what you're presenting go through the roof. So you too can stream your church service from the mountains, or really from anywhere, for less than $300. $300, you say? Absolutely, $300. That's how much money I spent on my first green screen setup many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And I want to share with you how you can do that. This is Gary Moyers. Thanks for joining me on the second episode of Worship and Tech. Can you spend more to do this? Absolutely. You can spend all the money you want to. But this is not a Marvel feature film setup. This is not The Mandalorian. This is church video budget on a shoestring. And sometimes the shoe is actually like a sandal, you know. So we're going to talk about how to do this responsibly. I won't say cheaply, but responsibly. And hang on to the end of the video. I'm going to share with you the secret that most folks don't know that helps you get a successful look in your green screen. So I started my first green screen filming with very minimal setup. Well, actually, a lot of the stuff you see today is exactly what I was using back then. I haven't changed equipment at all. But the room I was in, oh man, it was an abandoned room here in the building. It hadn't been used in years. The tiles had water damage up top, you know, the ceiling tiles. The floor tiles were cracked and broken, so you couldn't walk or it'd be clicking and popping. It was kind of a mess. They've since remodeled, so it's all good now. And the lighting that I used, man, it was the old photographic lighting that had an ugly yellow tint to it. I upgraded quickly, but let me show you some footage of that first one. This is our first Broadway Today, our first round of announcements, and you can tell the lighting is a little off, but it worked. 5 to 6 years later, we're still using it for everything. We do announcements on it. We do it for our sermons. Our preacher will be, we put him in multiple locations. You know, all aspects of worship, we use it for other, like communion and things. And there's a trick to the trade for that on how you want to make that look right as far as, you know, how you film your backgrounds. And we'll probably cover that in another video later on. So all of the equipment that we're talking about today, I'll put a link in the descriptions below so you can click through and see exactly what I'm talking about and examine it yourself. In this instance, Amazon is your friend. I'm talking about an Amazon green screen light kit. It's basically a muslin backdrop. It's a heavy cotton backdrop, and you want something heavier than a bed sheet. A lot of folks just get a colored bed sheet and throw it behind them. You don't want that because light can leak through from the backside. So a good heavy muslin backdrop is perfect, and that's what this kit comes with. And I got a 10 by 20 so that if I ever wanted to film their full body, head to toe, I could do that. I can count the number of times that I've actually done a full body shot on no hands because I've never done it. I could have spent money on a 10 by 10 and saved a little money. As a matter of fact, the kit you see linked below is for a 10 by 10 muslin. The kit comes with a crossbar and extension poles. It makes it really easy to set up. The big muslin cloth is pre-sewn with a horizontal pocket across the top, which makes it really easy to thread the top bar through and lift her up. It's really, really easy construction, and it gets up to, you know, mine's about 9 feet. I think it'll go up to 10 feet tops. So it's perfect for a 10 by 10. And the 10 foot will give you plenty of width for a single person on screen. One of the important things you have to do is when you pull it out of the packaging, it's folded and it's messed up. So you got to iron it, and ironing a 10 by 10 muslin sheet takes a bit of time, but it's important because you want to keep it pulled tight. Wrinkles will show up on your keying when you're in post later on getting rid of the green screen. It will, if there's a part of your drapery is, you know, if it's folded over or wrinkled, it'll show up and be hard to get rid of. The way to do that is to pull it tight using these small little clips. They're simple little clips. They wrap around with Velcro onto your extension pole, and then a little clip goes across and grabs the actual green cloth. And then there's a little tightener. You can pull it tight. I put on mine, I think there's 4 per side, which gives it a nice taut look across. I use common shop lights to be able to light the background. You can get really expensive lights, you know, but literally shop lights turned vertical. Mine are mounted to mic stands. We just popped a little hole through the back of the metal housing on the shop lights and attached it to microphone stands, so nothing fancy there. For your shop lights, you really need to have a daylight bulb. and they measure lights in Kelvin measurements. Kelvin is a measurement of color temperature from 1,000 to 12,000. It just covers the spectrum of light temperature. Daylight is 5,000 to 6,500 Kelvin. 5,000 is it's kind of a sunlight, kind of a slightly yellow, not bad, but just it's daylight. 6,500 is almost pure white. So somewhere in there, the bulbs you get need to be between 5,000 and 6,500. And I'm pretty sure that the lights that I linked up in the description are 5,000 bulbs. So now that you got your muslin green screen up and it's pulled taut and you got your shop lights lighting across at angles to it, now how do you know that it's really going to work? Well, here's a great little tip. The Green Screener app. It's available for iPads, Android. You can find it in the Google Play Store and in the Apple Store. Green Screener app lets you know exactly what you're seeing. You light your background up, pop up that Green Screener app on your iPad, and just let the camera on the iPad look at the green screen as if it were the actual camera you were using. And it'll tell you what's hot, what's not, what's dim, and you can adjust your lights on the fly while you're looking through your green screener app, and it gives you an exact approximation of how your green screen coverage is going to come out. Man, it makes it really, really easy to get an even coverage of light so that your green screen works nicely. Now for me, I had to put up some secondary lights. I was noticing that the lower third of my video was not lit as well, and I was having to make some software corrections to make that work, which affected other parts. So eventually I put up these secondary lights that really finished the lighting correctly. That wasn't the original part of the $300, and in my case, I actually used a couple of soft boxes. So I told you I would share the secret of getting a really good look for your green screen, and that's separation. You have to have your talent separated from the back wall so that your talent is not casting shadows on the green screen. If you do, it's going to mess up your lighting and your keying availability. So 10 foot, 8 to 10 foot is a good rule of thumb to pull them away from the green screen. So you'll have your secondary lighting for your talent up front, and then that way the shadows from them really don't fall on the back wall at all. You get that separation, you're going to have a great looking green screen. We're going to cover the other parts of green screen setup, the light for your talent, the audio, your video, your teleprompter. All of that will be in part 2, 3. I'm not sure how many parts this is going to have, but we'll get to it all here eventually. Hey, use the comment below. I really want to know, are you using green screen? How have you set it up? How do you use it? Or do you just have some questions about the whole thing? Go ahead and pop your questions down there. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. It helps the channel a whole lot. And really, to hit that like button or to gently depress the like button. A lot of people say, smash that like. I don't like smashing. Gently depressing is good. So subscribe, like, very helpful. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Worship and Tech. I guess you could lightly click the like button. How about gently stroke the like button? Okay, just smash it.